Okay, it's Tuesday and it's warmer outside in Canada and I'm really excited about that. So welcome everyone, for those of you who are joining live and watching this recording. Today's masterclass is all about the 3 ways to eliminate overwhelm and get more stuff done. Because the reality of it is, being an entrepreneur, it's so easy, and I've been in that trap of feeling constantly overwhelmed. Like I always have more stuff to do. I have to do this. I have to get this done. I have to create this thing. And it's the one thing that really stops us, overwhelmed, from achieving our goals. So let's fix that today, because if you're not going to eliminate the overwhelm, you're going to constantly be feeling like there's always so much to do and there's never enough to do. Thanks everyone for joining. Hi. So overwhelm is really a state of mind. And I always say, what you focus on, you get more of. Okay, so if you focus on how overwhelmed you are, you will then feel more overwhelmed, right? And you're like, yeah, right, thanks Renata. It's really simple to say, but maybe harder to do. And that's why the 3 things you're gonna learn today is gonna help you shift your focus from overwhelm to making things happen. Okay, so I hope that's an exciting thing for all of you, because I'm all about getting more stuff done as opposed to feeling more stressed and stuck and overwhelmed. Because again, I want to really get this clear. Overwhelm is just a state of mind. I know it can feel really real to us, but it's just a state of mind. And the great thing about that is we can change that state of mind by doing these 3 things. So the first thing is, you know that saying, you can get more done by doing less? Well, it's actually true. So the problem with people in business or entrepreneurs, not only do you have so many things that you feel like you need to be doing in your business, but you're also juggling your life. And I always say to people, making your business dreams happen isn't so much about the things you need to be doing necessarily to move the needle, like the strategies, the marketing, how to get more clients. It's just as important to be aware of and stop doing the things that aren't moving you forward. Because Danielle Laporte says this before, there's a saying that goes, you need to clear in order to create. So if you have so much shit on your plate, it's going to be very hard to then do more activities, do more exercises, create more strategies when you already feel like you have no time. And this exercise that I'm going to be sharing you, so number 1 is your stop doing list. And this is the time to get really real with yourself and be really honest with yourself. Don't judge yourself, because you're gonna be like, oh, I feel bad for thinking that about this person. Like, we're all human beings. No one's gonna see this but you. And I absolutely freaking love this exercise. And it's from my alignment starter kit, the 10 steps to stop doubting your badassery and to start manifesting your business dreams. And if you don't have the alignment starter kit, you can click on the link in the bio. It's the top one there. You can grab that, because this exercise is directly from there. And I highly recommend you keep this by your side when you're feeling overwhelmed, to give you a great inventory and clarity on the things you need to stop doing so you can start doing the things that matter, okay? Now, the first question is, who are you so over seeking their approval? And you have to be very specific. So is it your mom? Is it your current clients? Is it your friend? Is it your face? Is it your Instagram following? Because here's the thing, guys, like, if you're constantly trying to seek approval and you're spending time worrying and thinking about that, you can only do one thing at one time. So if you're worrying about things or trying to seek approval, you cannot then be creating and manifesting the things that really matter to you. So I want you to get really clear on who you're wasting your time and energy seeking their approval, and write that all down. And you'll be surprised. And again, don't judge yourself here. Just write down like what comes to mind. The second question is, what are you tired of justifying in your life and in your business? Okay? Oh, I love that. Spend time working on that list at 1 a.m. Amazing. Okay, well, maybe don't do it at 1 a.m., but okay, I got excited. I love that. Number 2 is, what are you tired of justifying in your life and business? Again, because if you spend so much time sitting around with your friends, and look, there's a point that you just need to rant and let things out, and I'm fine with that. But it's all about moving forward, because if you're constantly trying to justify the things that you do to the people that maybe just don't get it, you cannot then be putting in the time and the energy into the effort to do the things that really matter to you. So I'm just curious, like, because Jen, you did this list. What opened up for you? If you want to share it. If you don't want to share, you don't feel comfortable, it's fine. But was it a big eye opener when you started to get present to the things that are like eating your time, your energy, and your sanity? You can just drop that in and I'll keep moving forward. Number 3, okay, is who are you currently following online? like Instagram and Facebook that you want to hit unfollow, but you haven't? Because again, and I know we do this because I used to do this all the time. It's like we constantly compare ourselves and we spend so much time in this like downward spiral, feeling sorry for ourselves, comparing ourselves, being like, I'm not where should I be? Sally, the spiritual whatever, she's so far ahead of me and I'm a failure in life. And again, that's all your time, your energy, and your resources, because you can only do one thing in one moment, is spent in worry, overwhelmed, and then feeling like, oh my God, it's like too late to be who you want to be. It's like a vicious, nasty cycle. So if you're triggered by certain people and like, okay, maybe they're your friends, like perhaps just don't engage in their content. And if there's people that, you know, you don't really care for, but you keep following and stalking, well, why are you following and stalking them if they always make you feel like crap? So again, that's a great exercise, and it's super liberating to unfollow the people that really aren't making you feel the way you want to feel. Because how you spend your time on Instagram, the average person spends 3 hours a day. 3 hours a day. So if you're engaging in content that doesn't inspire you, move you forward, I don't know what else to tell you. Huge shock. I know it is a huge shock when you do it. And the last question is, what habits are sabotaging your productivity and profitability? Meaning, like, are you spending too many hours on your phone? There's an app, like Instagram will tell you how long you spend on your phone. So if you're saying, Renata, I'm so overwhelmed, I don't have anything to do, but then you're spending 3 hours mindlessly scrolling, well, again, that's like a no-brainer. And if things don't change, things won't change. Are you going to bed too late so you're not getting a proper rest, and then you don't wake up in the morning, and then you're feeling tired and you don't feel productive, and then you're like, oh my God, there's so much to do, but I'm just too tired to do it. So again, I have examples in this worksheet, but I really encourage you to write down all the habits that aren't moving you forward. And from this exercise, your things to stop doing list, I want you to pick one thing. So either unfollow someone, either stop justifying something in your life, like kick a bad habit, like just choose one out of all those. Chances are you just getting this awareness will shift a lot of things, but just pick one, because one thing that you take away that's not moving you forward will then create more space for you to do the things that can help you move forward. All right, and again, you can grab this things to stop doing list by clicking the link in my bio for the alignment starter kit. It's exercise number 3. And again, have it by your side anytime you're feeling overwhelmed, because it is a game changer. Yes, it is such a huge shock when you get present to the things you start wasting your time on, right? And thinking it versus doing it, completely different outcome, because if you just think, it's gonna create more overwhelm. Putting it on a piece of paper, I don't know, there's something about that magic happens. So point number 2, shifting your focus, is what are things that you can delegate or ask for help with? And I know a lot of people are like, oh, I don't want to ask for help. I feel like I'm bothering people, or, but until you ask, you don't know. As human beings, we love to help and contribute, and you can just simply ask. If you get a no, you get a no. And the second part of delegating things, because we can't do everything, and delegating might be hiring someone out to do something in your business that is just like a complete sanity sucker for you, or it's asking for help from a friend or a loved one, or even seeking out a mentor who's been where you were to help you with something instead of mindlessly spending hours. This has moved my business and my life forward so huge. I was the type of person where I never asked for any help. I never let anyone contribute to me, and by not allowing people to contribute to me, I always felt like I had to keep doing everything but myself, and it was completely overwhelming because I'm not good at everything. I'm good at a few things, and there's a lot of things I just suck at. So asking for help is so critical. And the second part why I feel like we don't ask for help, aside from the fact that we think that we're bothering people, or the fact that we think they're going to say no to us, is we're kind of control freaks. We're kind of control freaks, and maybe we don't trust. So if you're like, oh yeah, she hit the nail on the head, I'm kind of a control freak, and that's why I don't like to ask for help. Well, you got to ask yourself, how's that serving you? Chances are it's not, right? So what's the impact of being holding on to that control, being a perfectionist? It really stops you from moving forward and keeps you in this endless cycle of like overwhelm. So if that's you, if you have troubles asking for people, you're gonna have to go to work on trusting, and you can always be very clear on the things that you want and how you want it to look, and also working on your like perfectionism, and control, like being a control freak. And there's nothing wrong with that. It's just something to be aware of. But if you have troubles asking, those are usually the 3 things that really stop people from asking for help. Aside from, I'm gonna be bothering them. Chances are you really aren't, and people love to contribute. And that was a huge thing that I didn't realize until I started asking for help. Because people really don't know what you're going through if you don't let them in on what you're going through, okay? And the last one is you have to plan it. So I was like the expert of just not writing things down, not creating structures, and just trying to, fly by the seat of my pants. And while I would execute things and it looks like from the like to the world, like, oh, everything's smooth sailing, she just has her shit together, in the background I'm just like trying to whip out things left, right, and center, and there's no really concrete structure, and I'm really feeling overwhelmed because I'm not really sure what I have to do, what I'm building towards, and I'm just kind of just putting things out there. And that's not really, it can maybe be sustainable at the beginning when you don't have a lot of things on your plate starting out in your business. But when you move forward and like you're trying to scale your business and you have more opportunities, more people you're working with, and you're starting to grow, you can't just be winging out. You need a plan and you need a structure. Where's my... I use a Janelle Laporte planner, whatever. You got to pick a planner that fits right for you. But I feel, number one, so accomplished when I can check things off. Like, it just makes me feel so good. And then it also gets me present too, because sometimes we never feel like we're doing enough. And when I write it down and I check it off, I'm like, oh, I'm actually doing stuff. Because we're so hard on ourselves and we always start to focus on the things that we're not doing instead of giving ourselves some credit, which can then make us feel a little bit better, the fact that we are actually doing a lot, you just don't track it. So planning it and tracking your work, huge difference in your sanity, huge difference in your productivity. And I always say, break it down into chunks. And this is something you're gonna have to test, and you're gonna have to pivot, and you're gonna have to alter, because your business and your life will alter. There's weeks where you just naturally have more time to do things and create and to execute and to do what you need to do. And there's weeks where you don't. So I get that, but it's all about putting it into your planner and making sure that you're breaking it up in chunks daily. Don't try to like build a website all in one day. don't try to create like a whole new like marketing strategy in 3 hours if you really don't know what you're doing. Like give yourself extra time, especially if it's a new task, and then break it down into chunks, because this will definitely eliminate your overwhelm, and it will save your sanity like big time. And lastly, the thing about you're planning it, because planning is again so important, is that it's when you start to do things or execute things and you plan it, you have to pick times that are convenient and distraction free. So a lot of times people will be like, I put it in my agenda, but then this came up and this came up. And so number one, stop doing this. So are you overcommitting to things that are bringing you away from your goals? Because there has to just be a change there. So if you want to get things done, you have to put in your planner and treat it like a super critical, important doctor's appointment that you wouldn't miss for the world. That's how you have to start treating your goals in your business, because then it won't get done. I'll just do that tomorrow. I really want to grab a coffee with Sally. And while there might be opportunities that do come up that you're like, oh, that's really an important thing, I can't miss that, and I know I put this in my planner, you're going to have to shift it into another time slot so you still accomplish what you set to yourself out to accomplish. And when you do put in like your to-dos in your planner, pick days and times that are distraction free and put yourself in an environment that's distraction free. Personally, for me, I work really well in my condo when I'm by myself. I work really well at Starbucks for a chunk of time, and I work really, really well at my parents' house in their dining room, because it's like in Stony Creek, it's like zero. Don't pick your time slots when you're completely distracted, there's a lot going on, and like you're in an environment that doesn't enhance your productivity. So you have to be mindful of what environment works best for you to focus and get things done. So as a little recap on what we spoke about today, about overwhelm and how it's just a state of mind, and by doing these 3 things I said to you, you're going to shift your state of mind, because what you focus on, you get more of. So you keep focusing on overwhelm, you'll keep getting overwhelmed. And the 3 things is, the number 1 is that you're stop doing less, because you need to stop doing the things that are draining your time, your energy, and your sanity before you start creating more, or else you just lose your freaking bonkers. And again, you can get this list by clicking on the first link in my bio if you haven't already gotten the alignment starter kit. This exercise is number 3, game changer. Tape it to your freaking wall, okay? Anytime you're feeling overwhelmed, it'll really help you get clear on what you need to stop doing in order to, so you can have more time to create the things that matter. Secondly is asking for help or delegating. And the roadblocks to that was because you're a control freak, so working on your trust muscles with people, and also perfectionist. So those are usually the things, or we feel bad for asking. Again, you figure out what those, out of the delegating or asking for help, figure out if you're either, it's perfectionism, it's lack of trust, or it's the fear of like rejection and I don't want to bother them. And then you have to really start to transform that, or else you can't do everything. Because if you do everything, you're always going to be a state of overwhelm, because there's only a few things that, like, you got some like amazing superpowers, but if you keep doing things that you're not really good at, it's you're just asking to lose your sanity. Okay. And lastly is to plan it. So put it in your planner, break it down into chunks, and plan it in the time slots that work best for you. Okay? And if you have to move, if you have something that really important that comes up when you plan it, you have to move it in a different part of your schedule. So is there any questions for anyone watching today that you want some clarity on? Any aha moments that you got? Are you excited? I'd love to know, because it's so hard to see what's really going on the other end of this phone screen. So you could just drop the comments in the little section below if you like, and I'll give yourself a minute to do that, and then we're gonna just wrap up today's masterclass. Or maybe just what part of the exercise you like the best. Okay, so again, that's everything for today. Thanks so much for watching. Thanks, Jen. And I will see you this Friday, and I'll post the next class and the topics that we're gonna do. It's gonna be something to do with the 3 crucial brand mistakes you're making and how to change that ASAP. Probably gonna be on Friday. Alrighty, so everyone, you take care. Download your freaking guide. Put this into action, and I'm telling you, overwhelm will be just something of the past, or something that you don't have to experience as frequently as you do, so you can start making the things that matter the most happen in your life and your business. Bye.